All right, so I have evaluated that. I left off with having evaluated that the start action buttons and the cancel action buttons, that those are still being responded to all the time. So even when the UI is not enabled, like this one, is UI open, it was reacting. But that, in this case, it shouldn't actually execute the start of the race. So let's put some additional validations in here. So this one is UI is open. Okay. This one is resume action begin. In this case, it should only be if the UI is open. So I'm going to do another check on this one for resume action being the same thing. UI is open. All right. What other points do I have? Inside of this, we just react. So button clicks, those can only happen when when it's open. But otherwise, these other ones can't show up unless it's open. All right. Start race. Is there one to actually do that? So the start race, that's resume. Start race can't happen unless the UI is open. All right, let's test out the new one to see how this one reacts. So back inside the code, it just got no changes applied now, and just before that, it had start race and resume action, which is where we did our debug logs. So that got the current changes clear, no issues. All right, play. Now, at this point, I am going to press the start button, the enter, which is supposed to trigger the start button over here. Now, when I press enter, that did start race begin, which means it didn't actually continue in the start race. It has to have something else with it. The other one is a triggered action input. What did it trigger this one from? Race start menu. Okay, so the input action was performed for start race. Oh, yeah, that's fine. We understand that that can happen. I could also set this up so that these performed handlers are only set when the UI becomes visible, and then remove them. That would stabilize the action responses. Then I don't need to worry about other state, because otherwise they're just open the whole time. That is the change that I'm going to make. I need to do I need to reform some of my code to deal with this better. So these actions right here should not be set here. Control X, and this is a fairly easy to change to make then. It's not during awake, it is during show UI. We'll make sure that stuff is enabled. We've got our actions in place. And then when we are hiding the UI, we need to remove this. Oh, and in this case, if we need to remove this, then these options can't be there anymore. They have to be functions that we call. All right, so let's turn this into a function. The function up here, we're going to take this code. I don't use the value being passed into it. So it's just resume action. All right, let's put a little option in here for now. Let's just say on resume hotkey. Hotkey is not the right one, but on resume input by input. Okay. Now for the rest of this, I'm just going to comment that. Control KC. This one. Alt Enter. Create the method. That generates the method. No complaints on that part, and that's just supposed to have these lines in there. Control C. And Control KU there. Okay. All right, that is definitely good. The other one, Control CV. The other one is the start race on start by input. And that one is going to be start race. Okay, I need to go through the rest of my input code and make sure I'm dealing with it in the same manner. So this one is no longer going to be this. It is going to be plus equals on start by input. All right, that sets those ones. Get rid of this. So now it can literally only react when the UI shows and hides. So the hide functionality and the resume action. Oh, wait, where's my show? Show UI. There we go. This has been greatly reduced. Oh, the hide UI has not been reduced. Hide UI on these ones, I'm going to minus equals. What was this one called? This one was on resume by input. So we're removing that one. And then this one's going to be minus equals on start by input. Okay, that simplifies it and also increases the reason why we need a separate hide UI function that's internal to this and show UI. Excellent. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for this stuff. Okay, cool. That leaves that one is in good state. Other places where we're using this, the race end menu has this option inside of there as well. And so we need to react to the cancel. What does the race end menu have a cancel? They both do the same thing. It ends the race. Does this end the race? Show UI, end the race. We hide the UI. We tell it to end the race, which would have put the race back to none, which would have then caused the next frame to process. This is why the error was happening. This is the one that was triggering the offense. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to take these actions, and they still need their callback functions, but I'm just going to cut them out of the awake function. They are no longer part of awake. They are part of show UI. All right, now let's get the context fixed here. So on this one, I can't call close. Yeah, I can't call close showing UI. Actually, I suppose what I could do is I could take the callback context. What was the other one? It was on race start menu, and the callback context looks like this. Okay, input callback context. So if I go into this one, I can change the pattern that I'm doing that to something more reasonable. Show UI, where's my hide and show UI? This one. So the show UI close ending. What do I have this? Where is this? Close ending, F12. There's close ending. I'm going to say private void close ending UI. And this one just calls close ending. Which means on this one, I could also just shrink the whole thing down to here. Only calls one function, that's fine. All right, now that's close ending UI. Both actions do this, but it only does it when the show UI is there. So in this case, the action performed plus equals close ending UI. And same thing for this one. Plus equals close ending UI. Perfect. Now for the hide UI. Control C and Control V. Now for the hide UI, we're going to minus equals. Perfect. Okay, and I like this operation better, so since I'm using this pattern here, I am just going to go back and change the pattern in the previous setup. So on this one, I created an on input action that calls resume action. I'm going to create a resume action that accepts this input instead. So where is my resume action? F12. So resume action, we're going to say private void resume action there. Now the callback context, is that a class? It's a structure. So I can't have a null one, but I can still just expect that value and just not, I'd still have to pass something in. So I don't want to waste the memory on that. I will just have this equal resume action without anything. Excellent. So now resume action is what it can call, and I can get rid of the other one. This one goes away. Yeah, that one goes away, which also means the other one's going to complain. Where is it on show UI? There's hide UI and show UI. Yeah, there we go. On resume and on input. Okay, I just deleted something I didn't mean to. What did I just get rid of? Okay. Did I just delete resume action? It wasn't what I meant. All right, so these ones are the ones I'm getting rid of. The on ones. They do the same thing I'm expecting to do in a minute. All right, yeah, that complains about those ones. So the resume action is now going to just be resume action. And that's going to be the same for here, resume. Now I need the on start, which is where? Oh yeah, it doesn't have it. That's right. So we're looking for the start action. So this is supposed to be a start race. That's what it was doing, right? I hope so. We'll find it. Well, yeah, it was start race. Let's redo. Which in this one is control Y. Control Y, 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 Y. Just hold it down until it's done. All right. Start race, and then the same thing for this one, start race. Okay, in both cases, it's going to complain, so let's let it put in what it needs. Yeah, right there. And then we're just going to have that call, enter, tab equals start race. Done. Okay, so start race menu, end race menu is done. Not race start, that wasn't one. Race start, does that react to it? Car race, car race reacts to this. Car race reacts to this when we are in range, but that's changing and managing the state of the UI. So only if we are in range of it. But if we are, what if we are in range of it and we pause the game? Then enter key or whatever else might be affecting that. So I do need to get that particular one out of use as well. So, all right, pause. Pause state should remove that one. If pause state, so we should have an alert, an observable on the pause state. Okay. Traffic designer, which looks like a signal in that case. Freight car driver, car race, save game, car race. There we go. Now this one on awake, we are not reacting to any keys. Does that happen because, oh no, we had a service for this one. Where is that system? A system for it. So save load system. This one is for car race. We want the racing system. Race start, race game, save game. It's most likely a system. Car action. Car action is the one that takes care of the default actions. So this one has an action input. So that action input needs to happen when it is near things. So if we are near a depot and we have freight, it's supposed to drop that off. So it needs to react to that. But I don't want it to react to it unless it's in this. Okay, so no matter what, the game should not be paused if the car action is supposed to deal with it. So car actions is you press the action and you are affecting something in gameplay, not the UI. And so the only way that you are in the UI is because the game is paused. All right. So in this case, I'll just check the pause state. So in this one, we're checking on perform clicked. And here we need a first check. That one is going to be, what are we doing? Checking to see if it's paused. Do not run when paused. This should only affect UI, non-UI. But the UI also reacts to the same keys. Remember, I want those action keys. Like if we're going to do something, it's this action, the idea that we're doing something. It's context driven. So if you are in the menus, it's the same button. If you are in the gameplay, it is the same button. If you're if you're starting a race, it's the same button. If you are dropping off something at a depot, it's the same button. If you're picking up materials from the road, it's the same button. It's context driven. All right. So now to do that, how do we check the pause state? Do we have pause available here? How is pause available? Is pause still instance based? Is paused, did we add this to the locator? That's the pause menu, but how do we load the pause menu? Do we have a pause system? No, we don't have a pause system. Okay, what starts the pause menu? What uses this? One usage. No, that's asset. I don't want the asset. Maybe I do. UI pause menu. No. Okay. So we have a pause action. Pause action should be distinct. It should be separate from the actual, or from the action button. Because, yeah, the action button, we can press at any time. Pause button is separate. Okay, next. Awake. So we decide whether or not to set this invisible, but what are we reacting to? We are reacting to, oh, pause input action right there. We always respond to the pause input action. That's what triggers it. Now, what happens on the pause input action? That goes into the time system to set it. We also have our internal state of is paused. Okay, this needs to be in the locator service. Let's create a locator service for it then, or a locator system. In this one, to deal with that, we need an interface. So public interface I pause. Okay, inside of here, it needs a few key responses. We need to know, are we paused? And so this one I'm going to change to underscore. Alt enter. Hey, Alt enter is supposed to apply the renaming. Thank you. In this one, we need to know if it's paused. I guess we can leave that. Apply renaming. And in this one, it's going to be public bool paused get. So it's only read-only on this one. The other ones is we want to be able to pause the game at some particular event. So pause should be able to completely freeze the game. Most of the cases, any case where we're doing this, everything gets its own UI. But since I don't have any other system that needs to actually interact with this for anything more than to get the paused state. So in that case, I am going to just keep this one as a public Boolean that's in here. Do I want to react to it? No, I just want to check the state because I want to pull the state in this one. It's to be faster. Because in this case, it's only going to be checked at particular times. We don't want to have the pause state when we trigger pause state going off to all these different things. So let's go to here. Click that. Hey, I said click. Thank you. That's not what I wanted. Sorry, trying to operate something else here. Analytics. There we go. All right. What is next? We got the pause state inside of this. That's pause. So we got the interface I pause. We got the paused state. We're going to get that value. That one is now going to be attached to here, comma, I pause. Now on this one, I'm just going to put the property here. Public bool paused, and that is paused. Now this needs to be passed into the locator service. So let's do that. Let's go locator dot set I pause and this there. So that is now accessible, and we want to get access to that somewhere else. Do we do anything with it? We should expect that it's already there. I feel like the observable locators should just have an instant response call. So when I say, where is my get on locator? Let's go to locator. F12. All right. Now, locator reference, that's the type of information that it has. I observe, do I have a get function? I have a set function, set constructor, try to announce change, and clear. I do not have a get function. But get function won't always be able to return the type. It'll have some complaints. I don't want to go through the structure of organizing that one right now. Okay, so yeah, we will just put this in as a type. So the other system, what is it? Car action. Car action uses the input action. So I need to define whether or not we are paused. I need to have a reference to the pause state. So let's put that in there. Public I pause. Okay, now in this one, we're going to say locator dot pause, locator dot observe, and this one is going to be I pause. And for this one, we need to set when we get the value, that should be. Why did I just forget how observe goes? That one needs the value, so that is just P. I'll go with IP. Okay, so now we are going to say, what is that one? This dot pause equals IP. That's it. So now we have a pause state. That means that when we go to on click action in here, we can now say if this dot paused, so maybe pause system would have been a better name. So if it's paused, then return. Return. Okay, that frees up the car action from triggering when it's not supposed to. So we have car start, we have car end, or car start, race start, car race end. Car action is handled. Next, there's the start screen. Start. Okay, the start UI. Start menu. There. Start menu also reacts to this one. So we tell it to pause. We are saying on the action input, we are going to start the game. This should only happen when the UI is visible. So for this one, I have UI document dot enabled. Interesting. So that's visible to begin with. Got it. Once this is done, there's no reason for us to go back. No. I might put in a thing where you can, without having to shut down the game, you can return to the main menu. So in this case, I don't need to clean this one up yet. I can clean this one up later. At this point, I can just turn off this input action so we don't go back to start game, which only unpauses it and basically uses the exact same key as the pause. No, that uses enter key to trigger it. Okay, which the enter key would then unpause existing states, which we don't want. So yeah, inside of this one, we want to get it to stop reacting to here. So we also need to put in a new start game, Control CVV. And in this one, we need the context. So that one is input system dot callback. Why don't I see anything? Fine, we'll do this. We are just now going to set it to this one. There. Now, Alt Enter. No, I don't want to convert it to a local function. I want you to make this. Generate code. Can you just generate the function? Missing members, override. Why can I not get it to operate in this case? To just say Alt Enter and get it to refactor that or to code ahead. So Rider does a lot of intelligent stuff in here to try to define when I'm supposed to be able to do things, or like context-driven support, which is nice. But in a lot of cases, it changes the same hotkeys to do different things, but then it doesn't always pay attention to the context you're in properly, which means you need less hotkeys, but it doesn't always know what it's doing with those hotkeys. Okay, control dot, extract method. I don't want to extract the method. I want to produce the method. Okay, so let's go to here. What is the type that it needs? Input action callback context. You know, you could have just done that. Private void start game start game. There. That should technically allow this one to operate according to what it needs here. Action.performed equal. Oh, I'm returning. Oh, that's why it was complaining. So if I get rid of this one, just control KC. Let's see if my complaint about it disappears. So Alt Enter, create overload for start game. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed to do. Now for this, Control C, and let's just paste that there and get rid of this stuff. Equals start game. All right, so we put that one in there. Now we need to get rid of this, which is now minus equals start game. Okay, that kills it from this one. At this point, yeah, we destroy it. So when it awakes, we start this one. It's not during the, well, whatever. If once I change this away from here, then I need to trigger that event again, but that'll happen when I change the logic. I'm not putting that in there yet. That is not a required feature. The game will still be playable without this. Okay, next. Where am I now? We've got the game will be awake. Anything else that needs to react to the button presses? End race, start race, the car action, because we are triggering an event. There's two different events that happen from that. They both react to the same thing, not car race, car action. And I believe that one was taken care of completely. Yes, on click action. So on action click. All right, cool. So let's test out the game. This should allow the race to fully function, and the menus should not collide and interact with each other's state. Let's make sure it can compile. Okay, that's happy. Hot reload has unsupported changes. Why? Then why not just trigger the recompile? Because the game's running. That's why. Cancel. Stop. Now it's going to try to recompile. That's interesting that it doesn't support the changes that were happening, but Unity does support recompile and continue playing. But hot reload makes the assumption that we don't support that. I think in general, developers don't really pay enough attention to in Unity to care about that. It's nothing against the developers. Um, Unity isn't designed in a way where it tells you that this function is going to kill that, or that the way that you're using these variables in this state or changing them is not going to be supported by continue, compile, and continue. But that does mean that the default for most all developers and most all projects is not to care about the continue to replay, continue and compile and continue running. Okay, so now I'm going to press enter. Okay, no extra hotkeys announced. This is good. I'm going to press enter. Nothing happened. Excellent. Enter, nothing happens. I go to here, enter. There we go, start race. Next, enter. And now we are in the race state. So now as soon as I drive over this, race ends, time is at the end. When I click enter or escape, or sorry, enter or Z, it should escape this. Good. It didn't get rid of that. I still need to deal with that part. Okay, so that was Z. Now, oh wait, yeah, now enter, same thing. Now let's see, does the start of the race clear the time? Basically the time should already clear as soon as the drive is clicked. So that didn't happen. I click start race and it continues from the last time frame that I was in. Okay, so we're never going to be able to beat our old time with that going. So now let's go fix this. We need to reset everything once we exit this. So let's stop. Which one is that? That one is over in race end. Race end. Okay, now inside of the race end code, we have the drive state. We announce it over to car action. Is car action going to be responsible for this? Car action is what is displaying most of it in the first, or generating most of this information in the first place. It's the one managing the state for it. So let's hand off the control back to that one. So inside of race end menu, we are only controlling ourselves and notifying car action to go do its thing. All right, if car action gets much bigger, like right now, it's just got two things it's trying to take care of. And ideally, I would split those out into their own separate things. But if I start to grow that into more, oh yeah, we are going to be interacting and reacting to the, what is it? The mechanic. So once we get to the mechanic, I will split that out because I should have more, I should have that functionality getting divided out better. All right, local set. What have we got here? Race end, we got awake, race end menu. During this one, we are triggering, we've got the close button, close click, and we've got the ending UI. Race end menu. I only react to this one? I thought I reacted to Z as well. Oh, that's button. What about, so the show UI actually has these ones. Got it. There we go. So the show UI does checks to see and the wires it in to see whether or not the cancel or the action has been performed. But either case, it's going to call this, which tells it to hide the UI. And it tells the game time to continue. Why does it tell the game time to continue? This one pauses it because the UI. The UI is the one responsible for pausing it. Got it. Okay, that's fine. And then we tell the car race that the race ended and that the race end UI has finished. We're done on that one. So let's go over to that one. All this one does is change the state back. We need to reset things here. So some of the items in here, we've set the racing state back to none. Let's see, we are in start UI. That one should show the end. Okay, so right there we got end.show. So now we should already have the end. So this dot end dot hide. Okay, that will get rid of the menu, or that'll get rid of that object. It'll make it so it's no longer visible, the ending purple outline. Okay, next I need the timer to reset. So we're going to say, do I hold on to the time in this one? I believe I do. This dot timer manager dot set time 0. That should reset the time back to 0. When we exit it, was there anything else? The credit, that stuff, that's probably fine. All right, let's try this out. Did I already get everything? Erase end UI closed. All right, play. All right, enter. I'm already turning and all right, enter. Start race. I'm in the race. Now I'm over here. All right, it took 2.9 seconds to get to this point. I got a reward because I beat the old time. My best is my current. I guess all you have to do is match it. If you match it, of course, we're only showing it out to like a millisecond, but it goes out to like nanosecond or whatever the float goes to for its level of support. All right, now enter. All right, that cleared everything up. This set the timer back to 0. Let's double check this. Enter and enter. The timer started over again from 0. 2.15. We beat our best. All right. Excellent. So now I've got more. Can I do it again? Okay. Now, if I start using the race key or the drop down key, that makes the car faster. 1.39. Okay, cool. Definite difference between those for improving the speed. That that part is done. It gets rid of the UI when it's in there. And there's two things that I need to support on this now. This element, this starting point needs to show up on the map. So let me show you one other thing. Where do I have the freight? Okay, ahead of me are some trucks. I can see them on the map. In case you're not aware, these little dots right here show me where freight is right now or where the trucks are. There's one closing in from the side. That means, oh, right over there. And so it tells me where things are in relationship. Now, those are the brighter green circles. The smaller gray circles, that's car traffic. And that's going to be all around us. But right now, I have car traffic being tested just over here. So where it shows up is in context to this one. So if I get closer to that, I should be able to see all those cars. And yeah, I can start seeing the cars now driving around over here in the background. Okay, now where is it going? Are you, what? Straight ahead. Got it. Let's knock some of the freight off. All right. No, come on, give me one more piece. There. Ah, come on. All right, well, I got one. As soon as I pick up this piece, this freight right over here, then that's going to start a location on my map. So I'm going to hit enter. And you can see right here is the icon to show the location where it's supposed to drop off. That's not in world. That is on my 3D map. So as I move my car around, I can see its context. But you see it over here, like straight ahead of me now. That's it right there. So when I get this, if I let this go, oh, I was close enough. Why was I close enough? And why hasn't it taken this? Have I introduced some other bugs into this? Oh, the action button. No, that's car action. So that should still react and respond to it. What's going on here? Pause it. Or just go to scene view. That's fine. All right, give me the car so I can at least see what's near it. There we go. This object. Hey, I just selected this object. Why isn't it? Okay, that's being really slow. No, I want this one. Thank you. Drop-off depot. Drop-off depot currently has a force of this. It has a range of 20. 20 meters. There's no way that I was I was closer than 20 meters. Something's wrong with that one. I think it just took it because it's the closest one. So on this one, during the update, target force, we take the object, we destroy it if it's close enough. But wait a minute, shouldn't it be close enough? All right, let's see, what is it supposed to get to? If the distance from the target transform to the anchor transform, that also means that we should be adding force that takes us towards the anchor. Did it get there and just run out of time and just smash into this? What's going on with this one? Is it currently marked as stuck? So the freight, this is being really slow. The freight is currently in the stuck setup. It should not have gotten to stuck from there though. Oh, I turned it off. All right. Yeah, I think there's no way that's 20 meters. I need a quick way to measure. I need a measuring tool inside of here. Let's just put a cube for now. Check this one. No, right there. Add. Okay, fine. Game scene. Right click. Prefab. 3D object. Cube. Okay. That one should. Where did it go? Way up there. We don't need it way up there. I need it way down here. This is a unit of 1 meter. All right, now let's set the scale on this. That's the x-axis, so we're going to set the x-axis scale to 20. That's the distance for 20 meters. Right about there and down. So that means that when I drop it off, I have to drop it off from about this distance. In fact, 20 meters is not enough. Something is still triggering that without the distance, without it caring about the distance. That means that my function has to be wrong for detecting the distance. Inside of this one, it's got a take control of. We have a function called take control of. Now, when it takes control of the freight, it just does it. So in this one, we say system.find closest. We tell it find us the closest one and the max freight distance. What is the max freight distance? F12. Max freight distance is on car action, which is set to 20 right now. It isn't caring about the max distance for the drop-off depot, or for the drop-off point. Given that drop-off range, let's get rid of it. Delete. Do we use drop-off range at all? No, we don't. We use close enough. Now that means that car action has that bug in it. Why is this underscored? Do we have an error? Cannot resolve symbol drop-off range. Oh, we do have a check here. If it's greater than drop-off range. Okay, we are using the value, but that's from drop-off point just to check whether or not we are close enough. And if we are, then we call take control of. So drop-off range is still used. What? Where did drop-off range go? It uses that from drop-off point. So we're putting it back. Drop-off range does get used. It says it's according to that. Then over in car action, at this point, if our distance is close enough and we've had the action go off, that we're carrying freight and we're close enough to a drop-off point, then the drop-off point takes control of it. This is Something's broken. Whatever. I'll come back to that one later. That is low priority to fix right now. The distance is definitely too far for that one. We can get rid of that object. What else have we got going on? Inside of the save operation, what's next to take care of? Each one of the checkpoints, or each one of the races, should have a unique ID, which I think I already put the unique ID in place. Let's check that because I need that because it needs to save. So race start does have a unique ID. If I were to create a new one, by cloning this one, then I need that to trigger. I need to find a way to determine if I just cloned an object. I have never checked that. There's probably some editor operation to do that. Unity C# has uh, a game object in the scene been cloned. It feels like there has to be some intelligence to this, some editor tooling that I can apply to. Object.instantiate. I want an event for it. Okay, so none of the initial responses had an answer for it. So in this one, we have that's the behavior to copy. No, that's not what I want. Check for clone in the name. That's not a bad idea. Let's go up to, no, leave that. Save it. Now, what do we have? We have race start. Now, if I hit Control D, we get the one. I don't use clone in it. Also, if I'm copying a structure where I have several things that are lined up in it and it's got a parent object, and this is a child, it still gets cloned. It still gets duplicated, but I'm not going to be aware of it. Now, I feel like Unity has to have some sort of editor tooling to support that operation. There's too many things that it would want to do. So for instance, we clone an object, it's got to produce a new ID for it. Now, it's going to go off to the instantiator and basically just set that and then copy all those things over. It would be super easy for them to include an event that gets fired in that kind of case. All right, but I do not want the duplicate of this one in there right now. Let's delete that. Next. Because the problem is if I clone it, it's going to have the same unique ID as a previous one. Suppose as long as I clone, can I tell the age of an object? No, because if I have something in there to do that, it's going to clone that information as well. Okay, got it. Yeah, continue the search. All right, Unity C#. I want an event to capture when the editor duplicates a game object. Maybe that's more clear. Detecting copy paste events on editor. This looks like it. Serialized object doesn't seem to have to lead anywhere. What's the story with it? Okay. Try the event class. Event current. Validate command. Duplicate. Copy. All of this depends on where you put it. On inspector editor will only execute when the editor window is in focus. So I have two places that I can duplicate that. I can duplicate that in the hierarchy or over here. Now, what code am I already reacting to? I have Control Shift B. I have my design editor or traffic designer that's responding to key press events, but that's only reacting when it is within the editor in this area. I am specifically ignoring when I press keys in other things like my mouse focus is over the hierarchy. But that is by choice. So I think let's go check the design tool. So what was that one? That was Control Shift B. Where is that anyway? Okay, that's the truck traffic. Let's see. That one goes to this one. Traffic designer. Traffic designer is up here. All right, we've got traffic designer, which happens only in the editor, debugging fields, blah, 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 blah. What am I checking for? We had undo state, which is not working. I tell it to record the object, but I never mark the traffic data as dirty. So I think it wants me to mark that as dirty before I do that. Because, yeah, undo hasn't done a thing. Oh, actually, Z. I am controlling Z, so I think I interrupt the fact that Z is taken when Control Z is pressed. Okay. But then how do I react to these keys? Node connect. What calls node connect? One usage. Traffic system editor. Here's where we're reacting to the keys. This is in the on-scene GUI. And the key press, when is the one that I want to react? Actually, I want to go back. What exactly is the goal that I'm trying to, and is this important to the game? Inside of here, what was I doing? When I duplicate an object, I want to find out if I duplicated an object, and this is for a design tool. All right, in that case, I think what I'll do is I'll just say, worst case, I'm just going to accept it as is, and then maybe at the end I will put in a function that does a check at the end of the game during the build process that checks to see, are all the IDs unique? If it tries to build one that is not unique, then it has an ID that was already there, then it doesn't allow it. It throws an error and complains about it. Okay, that solves it. That is a solution that I can keep. And I only need it once the error shows up. Do I have a way to detect that the error shows up? Because right now it all shows up by ID. Am I putting this into dictionary? I think I am. So in Traffic Designer, not in Traffic Designer, save load. Save freight. We got the start positions. So start positions goes off to the car. Okay, so it goes off to the car. It goes off to the car action. So inside of this, we have the action. Where do we have the... That does not have all the points. Start race. How about start race menu? No. Race start. Race start. There we go. During the awake, we find the car race and we add ourselves to it. This is the function. So let's... Yeah, that's all in there. Time check. Oh, all right. All right. Add race start. Race starts.add. So we're adding it to the collection of starting positions here. Now, when I add this, race starts.add, it is just a list. It's not a dictionary. There is no detecting whether or not there is a singular value. I put in the IDs. Where am I using the IDs? So let's go check the start, which is a race start, F12. Unique ID. Where does this get used? Find it. Find all usages. We generate it in the inspector, and that's it. Nothing else ever uses it. We check its value here. Nothing depends on it yet. So the save operation is going to be the first point that does it. Save. The bake. Save game. When the save, so whatever the save game is doing, I'll have that do a check on it. So the save game will complain if there are unique IDs that are duplicated. Yeah, because it has to save each one, so it has to find the ID, it has to map out that value, so if it already has it, then pain point. Okay, got it. Now, save game. We need to save all of the race starts. Where are these? These are going into car race, right? Car race, and where do you sit? What asset has you? The car. Makes sense. All right, so the car has car race. Save game now needs to know about car race. Save game is the data. Where's the save load system? There we go. So we'll start with saving the data. This one has access to the car, so we can grab the car race information. And what are we looking at? Load and where's save? Save game. This is where we create the save game. So we have to put this information in here. This is going through each one of the freight. Now I need to go through each one of the start points. All right, so public. Oh, the end race where we saved that. That's stored on the save onto the race start, right? Race, not start menu, race start has the time, best time. Perfect. Okay, this is not public. Inside of this, I do need to store this information. How am I going to store it? I can store a list of the IDs and a list of the best times. So list of string, list of floats. Okay, so let's go into the scriptable object for save game and create that, F12. Here we're going to say public list string. This one is going to be cube, not cube positions. This one is GUIDs start race start GUIDs equals new, and public list, what's the other one? Float race start bests. Okay, that's in there. Now I need to start storing the data into it, which should be happening. Oh, we can just put that here. For each, I can do a for each. I don't care if it puts that extra byte in here. We're at a load unload of the world ending event. So the fact of having a little bit of additional information when we're about to wipe out a whole bunch of data potentially, not a big deal to me. So for each int for each, what is this? The race. I need to get the race. I need to get the car race. So var car race equals car dot get component game object. What is car? Is car an interface? No, it's acting as a mono behavior. Oh, this dot car. Where's save game? I'm in the save load system. Why does this not have why didn't I see that? Okay, no. I need car. This dot car, player car. Got it. This dot player car dot get component, and that one is car race there. Okay, so now we have the car race. Now we need to go through every single item inside of it. Do we have clear access to add those items? So car race dot race starts. That's public for the time being. Race starts. This is the actual objects, right? Yeah, it's a list of object race start type. Good. Now I can do for each. For each var start in race starts. All right. Public. Public. Why am I starting with that? So now that I've got that, I need to store the information. So in this one, we're going to have game dot race start bests equals start dot best. Game dot, oh, it's not equals, it's add. Okay, and the other one is game dot race start GUIDs. Start dot GUID, unique ID. Can I just save the GUID should serialize just fine. So let's put in unityengine.guid here. Is this the Unity engine one? Yes. What is this one? That's part of system. I want the other one. Cool. Okay, so we are now saving the GUID. Yes, that's what we want. Race start GUIDs, race start bests. What have I got? Yeah, I'm storing both of those pieces of information, but I'm not actually testing to check to see if any of the values are valid here. Let's do a little extra check right now. Since I'm going through this, I'm just going to store an extra list. No, I can do this right after. So we go through each one of those items, we add it, and now we're going to say for int I equals 0 to say game dot race start bests. I guess I'll go with GUIDs. I'll announce it as GUIDs in specific. It doesn't really matter which one I use. Dot count I plus plus. So now what I want to do is just check to see what the last index of that same value is. If game dot race start GUIDs dot last index of, and we're going to say game dot race GUIDs I does not equal I, then this is an error state. I is race GUID is duplicated. All right. I don't care too much about how it does it. Debug dot log error. And that error is going to be race, multiple race starting points have the same ID, same unique ID. Now, this is not going to be that helpful unless it actually points out which one that is. So let me see if I can highlight those. In order to get that, I've got the ID of where I'm interacting. For each generally should go in the same order of 0 on, but I'm not 100% certain. Actually, let me just do a check on that. If I want to trust the data, then trust the look up the data. Okay, C# for each on an array will for each cycle through start from 0 and move forward. Or can it choose different options? Iteration statements for each. Guarantee an order of evaluation. Thank you. Logically, for arrays, blah, 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 I enumerable, which will access as in order. I enumerable or having get enumerator will access in the order provided. All through alternating move next and current calls. This is a standard ECMA. The order in which it traverses the element of an array is as follows. For single dimensional arrays, it is traversed starting with index 0 and increasing from there. Okay, perfect. That is exactly what I was hoping for. It's what I would have expected, but good to check. All right, now car race, we're checking to see. So these ones are in the exact same order. So that means that these race starts, the index will match with the one I've got right now. Okay, so now I'm going to say we'll give it 2 points for this error. First object here. And comma, that one needs to be what is it? It's going to be, where's the data coming from? Where did I get race starts? That one was from car race. So car race dot race starts and I. So that references it. That way, when I click on this actual log error bug, it will give me, not only will it explain to me what's going wrong, but it also highlights, or it'll, when I click on it, it will highlight the one that I want. Now, the same thing, I'm going to go in here, and that's going to be a second object is here. And this is going to be, where is the object? I don't want that race start. In this case, I want the other one. How do I find the other one? The other one I have to look up by GUID. By last index of, right there. So instead of I, it's all this. Okay. But that makes my save game now allow me to throw an exception or throw an error that I can detect. Okay, cool. Yay. Now, why does this have a red underline? What's the issue here? It expects a closing one. Do I not somehow have that? Oh, what's going on here? So right there, I've got that one. Yeah. Oh, I've got one that's supposed to sit here. There. I was missing a parentheses. Cool. Save games should be validated now. I can identify the two and I can just give the other one a unique key by just changing a value in it. And then when I save game again, that'll resolve it. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to need to get going, but let me just make sure that the code is running save game. I want to test the save game. So first of all, let's go play. It's doing a full recompile. Good, happy. Play. And so with this one, I should be able to check the save game state. So right now, I am here. I have next to nothing. I will be done in just a minute and come back in. All right, so on here. Okay. All right, so inside of here we have car. Oh yeah, so the car goes up, and right now if I save, which is done through here because it's not a player instantiated event, this is supposed to happen when the player uh, visits a mechanic. If they go to a mechanic, it saves their state. Um, and if they start the game, it loads their state. All right, so inside of this one, we have save game. Now I need the actual game file. Where did that one get saved to? Oh, its location is really weird. So where is that one? Vigilante save game. Save game. Create save game, and then it needs to save it. F12. That one produces the path, but we don't report the path. So debug.log game saved to plus this one is path. Return to that one. That one should be instant. It should just recompile, save, and that's part of what's going on in there. So now let's hit this one again. Vigilante save game. We get it tells us where that file is. So now users, let's go to this path. Control C and Control V, enter. Yes, I get that. One of the things has a different slash direction. Many of the things probably do. Okay. Oh, it's got a colon at the beginning. I copied too much. All right, default save. And now let's open this and edit in Notepad. All right, so inside of here, this is just JSON, and inside of it, we have race start GUIDs. It's stored as 0 GUID. The unique ID that is associated with that was not 0. And for race start bests, I do expect this one where it has an exponent of 38. That's infinite. It's the largest number for a float. All right. So race bests, that one exceeds that one's at our max. That's what I was expecting. But the race start GUID came up with 0. If I go back over into here and I go to the race start, we have a unique ID that actually is something. And so, oh yeah, and you can see the exponent value of plus 38. So that one is 38 values out. It's a huge value, max value for what this can be. Unique ID, best time. Why didn't it get the unique ID? It means that it didn't serialize it. Unity did not serialize the GUID, but it still serialized it. It put zeros in it, put like the right amount of values that it would use for that. So why didn't it use it? So race start GUIDs, it's completely missing it. Let's go back to our code. Race start GUIDs, we're saving it. When we produce the save, we're over here. We get the last index of whatever. We are storing the information. We restore the unique ID. Let's check this one out. I'm going to also put in a debug.log trying to save unique ID. Plus there, .toString. Save it and return. That should get another now update. Good, it did. So now when I do file or Vigilante save game, it happened. It's got a unique ID. Okay, it has the unique ID. When I save it here, it's got a unique ID. So let's go back to this one. Wait, why did it work now? Why did it actually get the proper ID? And does it actually match? 0FB and 0FB. That's the, yeah. Okay, that is messed up. Whatever the case, that's there. Now let's check the best time. That's the thing that I needed to test. And then I'm going to be out of here. Enter and start race. Go to here. Now 2.28 drive and let's save the game. Vigilante save game. Go back to the notepad and inside of here 2.28. Oh, Ellie, not right now. I'm on a stream. I'll be back in a minute. No, go. I'll talk to you in a minute. All right, so let's see, 228. That one is saving. It's getting the right information, which is as far as I'm going to go for right now. Okay, I will talk to everyone later.